Let me ask you something. When was the last time you walked through your garden in December and felt absolutely delighted by what you saw? Most gardens look pretty sad during winter months, but what if yours didn't have to? I'm Sam, and right here on Seniors Gardening Advice, I'm going to reveal 5 incredible plants that will keep your garden stunning all winter long. These aren't your typical boring evergreens. These are showstoppers that actually get more interest in when the temperature drops. Before we dive in, do me a quick favor. Hit that subscribe button right now. I share practical gardening wisdom every single week, and I'd love to have you as part of our growing community here at Seniors Gardening Advice. Tap that like button too if you appreciate straightforward gardening advice without all the fluff. Now, let's get into these remarkable winter plants. You know what I love about this time of year? We're at that perfect sweet spot where it's getting cooler, maybe a bit damp outside, but we still have plenty of time to get plants in the ground. Generally speaking, you want to aim for planting about 6 to 8 weeks ahead of when you expect that first really hard freeze. This gives roots enough time to establish themselves before winter truly arrives. So, here's what I want you to do this weekend. Grab a cup of coffee or tea, bundle up if needed, and take a slow walk around your property. Look at your garden with fresh eyes. Where are the empty spots? Where does everything look brown and lifeless? Those are your opportunities. Those are the spots where these 5 plants are going to make all the difference.
Plant number 1, Golden Globe Yellow Arborvitae. Let me introduce you to something really special, the Golden Globe Yellow Arborvitae. Now, I'm actually going to share 2 different varieties of yellow arborvitae with you because they serve completely different purposes, but both are absolute winners for winter appeal. The first variety is the Golden Globe, and folks, this little beauty is standing right here fully mature. Yes, you heard that right. This is as big as it gets. We're talking about a true miniature specimen that maxes out at somewhere between 10 and 15 inches in both height and width. Here's what makes this plant absolutely perfect for so many situations. It naturally maintains this beautiful spherical shape without you having to do a single thing. No pruning, no shaping, no fussing around with shears trying to make it look good. It just does its thing and looks fantastic year after year. Talk about a low-maintenance option for those of us who want beautiful gardens without spending every weekend doing yard work. Now, this Golden Globe really shines when you give it partial sun to full sun. That's when you get this gorgeous golden yellow color that it maintains throughout the entire year, and I mean the entire year. While it can handle a bit more shade than many other evergreens, you'll get the best color with good light exposure. What really sets this apart from your standard evergreens is that color. Sure, you can fill your landscape with all sorts of traditional green evergreens, maybe throw in some blue-toned varieties, but this yellow really makes a statement. It's distinctive, it's different, it catches the eye. And can we talk about hardiness for a second? This tough little plant is rated for zones 3 through 7. That means it can handle some seriously cold winters. This makes it absolutely ideal for container plantings that stay outside all winter long. Because it stays so compact, you can keep it in the same container for years and years without worrying about it outgrowing its space. I've positioned one right along this pathway here, and if you've been following Seniors Gardening Advice for a while, you know we recently had several large oak trees taken down in this area. When those oaks were standing, there simply wasn't enough light or space for another one of these Golden Globes. But now I can picture adding another one right over there, and in my mind's eye, I can already see how stunning that's going to look. These are just incredibly versatile plants. Line them along a walkway for a formal look. Tuck them into mixed borders where they'll provide year-round structure. Plant them in decorative containers near your entryway. However you use them, once your perennials die back and your annuals are finished for the season, these golden beauties will still be out there looking absolutely magnificent through all those gray winter months. If you're enjoying this information, take a second to share this video with your gardening friends. The share button is right there below the video, and I guarantee you know someone who needs to hear about these plants. And hey, drop a comment down below telling me which plant you're most excited to try. I read every comment and love hearing from you folks here at Seniors Gardening Advice.
Plant number 2, Featherlight Yellow Arborvitae. Now for the second yellow arborvitae variety, this one's called Featherlight, which I think is just a perfect name when you see it. We actually put together a dedicated video about this specific variety because I genuinely believe it's such an outstanding choice for the right situation. While Featherlight shares that same beautiful yellow-gold coloring with the Golden Globe, it grows in a completely different way. This one wants to reach somewhere between 5 and 10 feet tall, and it'll spread out to about 3 to 6 feet wide. So we're talking about a much more substantial plant here, a real focal point specimen. But here's the thing about gardening. We all have different spaces to work with, don't we? Different areas with different needs. Having multiple size options with similar coloring gives us flexibility to use these plants in various ways throughout our landscapes. Maybe you need that compact Golden Globe for a small space, but over here you've got room for something bigger and more dramatic. That's where Featherlight comes in. The texture of this plant is really something special. It has this delicate, ferny, almost wispy appearance. When you run your hand over it, it's incredibly soft, not prickly at all like some evergreens, and it has this lovely fragrance that I just adore. Like its smaller cousin, Featherlight performs best in partial to full sun locations, and it holds that golden color beautifully throughout all 12 months. One difference to note, this variety is rated for zones 5 through 8, so it's not quite as cold hardy as the Golden Globe. Still plenty tough for most climates, just something to keep in mind if you're in a colder region. I'm genuinely excited to watch this one fill in this space over the coming years. Right now, I've got it planted near this Wicked Witch coleus, and the color combination is just striking. That deep burgundy purple foliage against the bright golden yellow of the arborvitae. I think this might become one of my favorite plant pairings that I repeat in other areas of the garden.
Plant number 3, Emerald Inkberry Holly. Moving right along to plant number 3, this is the Emerald Inkberry Holly, and at first glance, you might think you're looking at a boxwood. I mean, it really does bear a strong resemblance, which is actually one of the main reasons I'm such a fan. I absolutely love boxwoods. They're classic, they're elegant, they provide wonderful structure. But if you're gardening in an area where boxwood blight or other boxwood diseases are problematic, this Inkberry holly serves as an excellent substitute. They develop into these nice, naturally rounded shapes, reaching about 2 to 3 feet in both height and spread. This makes them perfect for creating low hedges or defining garden spaces. Here's a nice little bonus. When these plants push out new growth in springtime, the tips emerge with a reddish color. So you get this additional seasonal interest beyond the evergreen foliage. These emerald inkberry hollies are hardy in zones 5 through 9. Now, for those of us gardening in zone 5, that's right at the edge of their range, which means I'm a bit cautious about leaving them in containers through winter. If we get a particularly brutal cold snap, I'll either move them into our greenhouse for protection, or at minimum, I'll relocate them closer to the house where they're somewhat shielded from the worst of the weather. One important thing to know about these plants, they prefer soil that stays somewhat moist and leans toward the acidic side of the pH scale. Here in eastern Oregon, our soil is extremely alkaline, really high pH. So for me, growing these in containers actually works out better because I have much more control over the soil conditions in a pot than I do in the ground. Speaking of containers, I planted 2 of these emerald inkberries in large urns earlier this spring, and I want to show you how they've developed. Let's head over to the pergola area. So, this spot underneath the pergola is quite a bit shadier than other areas of the garden. We've got juniper branches overhead, plus the entire pergola structure is covered with Virginia creeper vine. It's beautiful and provides wonderful shade in summer, but it means I need evergreens that can tolerate lower light levels. The emerald inkberry can handle partial sun to shadier conditions, and they've really thrived under here. Look at this one. It's formed into this perfectly spherical shape right in the center of the container. That's exactly the look I was going for. I didn't want anything tall that would block the view to the house from this angle. I really love that sight line. I've tucked some goldchild ivy and pansies around the base, and the scale is just right. This one here started out slightly smaller than that one over there, and while it's filled in nicely, it's still got a bit of catching up to do. But overall, both have performed beautifully in this location. Don't forget to subscribe to Seniors Gardening Advice if you haven't already. We've got so much more content coming your way about creating gardens that look good 12 months a year, not just in summer.
Plant number 4 is the Nordic Pride Siberian cypress. Now, we're heading into the greenhouse for the next 3 plants. Plant number 4 is the Nordic Pride Siberian cypress, and I was thrilled to finally get my hands on one of these because I've wanted to trial it in my garden for quite some time. I specifically sought out a smaller specimen so I could use it in a container design for this winter, and then when spring arrives, I can transplant it out into the landscape. I love doing this kind of double-duty approach with plants, getting enjoyment from them in containers first, then giving them a permanent home in the garden. When you first look at this plant, you notice how delicate and ferny the foliage appears, and you might think, oh, that's never going to survive harsh winters. It'll get tip dieback for sure. But here's the amazing thing. This is a zone 2 through 7 plant. That's one of the most cold-hardy evergreens I have on my entire property. And unlike other delicate-looking evergreens, this one doesn't get that winter damage and tip dieback. It just keeps looking good. Beyond that impressive cold tolerance, the Nordic Pride Siberian cypress can actually handle some shade. It adapts to dry conditions once established, and deer generally leave it alone. That's a big deal in areas with heavy deer pressure. As far as mature size, you're looking at somewhere between 1 and 3 feet in height and 3 to 5 feet wide. It typically develops into more of a ground cover form, but we're talking about a taller ground cover, not something you'd walk on. Think of it more like a lush, flowing green carpet that adds texture and movement to the landscape. During winter month, the foliage takes on this attractive russet purple tone, so you get that nice color variation for a few months before it returns to this fresh green in spring. That seasonal color change is just another layer of interest. Like most evergreens, this one appreciates moist soil that drains well. It doesn't want to sit in water. And here's the best part. You don't need to prune it. Just plant it somewhere it has room to spread and let it do its thing naturally.
Plant number 5 is Crimson Charm Winterberry Holly, and I've talked about winterberries multiple times on Seniors Gardening Advice because I'm always able to get my hands on cut branches for holiday decorating projects, but I've never actually planted them in my own yard, until now. I've got 3 of these Crimson Charms, and I'm going to plant them somewhere near the house. I haven't settled on the exact location yet, but I want them positioned where I can see them through a window that I'm near frequently throughout the day. These plants are so spectacular that I want to be able to enjoy them to the fullest. Here's what makes them so special. They're deciduous, meaning all those green leaves drop off and fall. And while you might think that's a negative, it actually makes the display even more dramatic. These plants produce an incredibly heavy crop of bright red berries, and just imagine this plant at its mature size of 3 to 4 feet tall and wide, absolutely loaded with these brilliant red berries against bare branches. It's going to be absolutely stunning. Crimson Charm is particularly nice because it's more compact than traditional winterberry varieties, which often get quite large and unwieldy. These are much easier to fit into residential landscapes. Now here's something important you need to know about winterberries. You must have a male pollinator variety to get those berries. This plant here is called Captain Charm. It's the male counterpart. One male plant can pollinate up to 5 female Crimson Charm plants, but they need to be within about 50 feet of each other. So here's my plan. I'll position these 3 female Crimson Charms in a prominent spot where I want that visual impact, and then I'll tuck this Captain Charm male somewhere else in the general vicinity, maybe tucked behind something in the border where it's less noticeable. As long as they're within that 50-foot range, the females will get pollinated, and I'll get that magnificent berry display. Without a male plant nearby, you'll still get small white flowers in spring, which are nice, but no berries will develop afterward, and it's those berries we're really after. These winter berries are hardy in zones 3 through 9, very adaptable. They attract birds, which is wonderful for winter wildlife viewing. They're deer-resistant, which is always a plus. One caution, though, if you have pets that tend to nibble on plants, winter berries aren't a good choice because they're toxic. I'm not sure exactly how many berries would cause problems, but it's probably not worth taking the chance if you've got a dog or cat that likes to sample the landscaping. Here's something else that makes winter berries valuable. They actually thrive in wet areas of the garden. Do you have a spot that's always boggy, where other plants struggle because it's just too wet? If that area gets partial to full sun, winter berries are your answer. They adapt beautifully to wet conditions, and it doesn't matter if you've got light sandy soil or heavy clay. They seem to love those consistently moist situations.
When I plant these out in my beds, I'm definitely going to add extra drip irrigation lines to them to make sure they stay consistently happy and well watered. Are you finding this helpful? Hit that like button and leave a comment below letting me know which plant you're planning to add to your garden. Engaging with these videos really helps Seniors Gardening Advice reach more gardening enthusiasts just like you.
Plant number 6, Silver Mist Juniper. The final plant on my list, plant number 6, is a juniper called Silver Mist. Junipers are among the very few plants truly native to our region here. They're the ones you can stick in the ground and they just take off. They thrive. They grow at a good pace. I'm really looking forward to watching this one develop over the coming years. This silver mist will eventually reach about 10 to 18 feet tall and 7 to 10 feet wide, so it's definitely one of the larger specimens I'm showing you in this video. Right now, it's obviously still young, just a baby plant in a small container. But as it matures, it'll develop into a pyramidal shape with a very dense, striking presence in the landscape. One of the features I really appreciate is that it produces a heavy crop of these bluish-green juniper berries. Those berries had visual interest, plus I love using juniper branches, especially when they're covered in berries, for holiday decorating projects. They're so versatile in wreaths, arrangements, garlands, everything. These junipers attract birds, particularly in winter when food sources are scarce. They're deer-resistant, which is valuable. They're rated for zones 4 through 8, giving them wide adaptability. Silver mist really wants a full sun location. That's where it'll look its best and grow most vigorously. And you want to give it adequate space to reach its mature size. When you do that, you eliminate any need for pruning, which is ideal because these typically don't require any pruning at all. In fact, here's an important tip. You don't want to cut back into the woody growth deep inside the plant. Junipers can take a very long time to recover from that kind of heavy pruning. They don't regenerate from old wood the way some other plants do. So just give it the room it needs from the start. I think these make fantastic single specimen plants positioned in the back of a large border where they can serve as a backdrop for everything in front. They're also excellent for hedging or privacy screening purposes if you've got a boundary you want to define or an unsightly view you want to block. The color is really beautiful too. It's a deep green overall with these more chartreuse green tips on the new growth, giving it a settled two-toned appearance that adds depth. So there you have it, 6 outstanding plants that will transform your winter garden from drab to spectacular. I hope you've discovered some new options today that you're excited to incorporate into your landscape. That's what gardening is all about. Continually learning, trying new things, keeping our spaces fresh and interesting and beautiful, regardless of the season. Winter doesn't have to mean a boring brown landscape. With the right plant choices, your garden can be just as engaging in January as it is in July. Thank you so much for spending this time with me here on Seniors Gardening Advice. If you got value from this video, please share it with your gardening friends. That's the best way to help this channel grow. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss our upcoming videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy gardening, everyone!